Insane scenes out of Mexico City and all across Mexico as the government burns tonight. There is a massive Gen Z protest in Mexico that kind of reflects what happened in Nepal and some other Asian countries, where young people are using social media in order to organize against endemic government corruption and crippling insecurity and a lack of social order, effectively a revolt against the old way of doing things. These things can, of course, go wildly out of hand. There's no telling exactly how authentic they are, but nonetheless, this one in Mexico seems to, at the very least, have a good heart to it, right? What are they protesting against? What are these young kids protesting against? I mean, this footage of them tearing down the presidential palace, this is crazy. So the far left-wing, psychotic, Trump-hating, installed dictator in Mexico, her name's Claudia Sheinbaum. Anyway, she has done nothing in order to combat cartel violence. And the cartels effectively run all of Mexico, and many criticize her as being effectively just an agent of the cartels, somebody who's installed purely to serve the cartel purposes. And as you well know, cartels just straight up murder with total impunity. They just engage in a bunch of high-profile political killings all throughout Mexico, killing some major popular political figures, like a mayor that was very popular with the Gen Z crowd in Mexico. And so now there are these massive protests all around the country, but specifically in Mexico City, they put up anti-riot barriers at the presidential palace that they have there, and they got ripped down. The protests showed up in the tens of thousands. People have had enough in Mexico. Mexico is effectively just a failed narco-state. This is what President Trump says, and he's right. Claudia Sheinbaum, instead of like fixing her own country, has used her position in order to woke scold Donald Trump and scream and cry about the Gulf of America. She just runs a narco-state. I mean, listen, she's not in control of her nation. There are extrajudicial political assassinations and executions pretty much on a daily basis for anybody that even speaks ill of the cartels at all. Yeah, I mean, Mexico's just a failed state. Should we be sending our Marines in there and our special forces in there? No, we should not. But like, is this all the more reason to lock down our southern border? Yes, it absolutely is. What's going to happen in Mexico? Well, you know, they were able to successfully flip the governments of Nepal and were able to like frog march out the prime ministers, right? I think they were able to do this also in Bangladesh. And so this is certainly not the first, and I doubt will be the last of the brand new Gen Z protests all around the country. Now, what is this as it pertains to America? I've been preaching for a very long time, you need to take care of young people. When young people feel like the ladder's been pulled up, like the door has been closed by an older generation, and that they are just simply going to inherit slavery, then they're going to revolt. This is what's happening. When young people feel like there's no access to any opportunity for them, when they feel like there's no security, when they feel like the gerontocracy, which is the rule of the old, has simply served themselves and has passed laws and regulated for their own wealth and keeping young people out, then what's going to happen is, well, I mean, I'm currently in a tunnel in New York right now. What's going to happen is what happened in New York. Young people are going to get desperate, and they're going to turn to either socialists or MAGA, or America First, and we want it to be MAGA, right? There's a way to actually vision cast incredible American dream for young people here in this country. I don't want to see protests like this in this country. Now, what this is being, I mean, the way to frame these, as you watch sort of the footage play, is these are framed as right-wing protests, so it's conservative protests against a left-wing government. It is a very far left-wing government in Mexico. This is sort of how it's been framed also around the world. So I just don't know who's funding it. There's a lot of like questions about who's funding these things. How are they getting off the ground? Is it like foreign influence? Is this just like influence? Is this our CIA? You have to ask these questions. But ultimately, Mexico is a failed state. I have no idea. I have no evidence that this is some type of nefarious, Open Society or George Soros or something, someone else funding this for some nefarious reason. I don't know. I know that based on all of the available reporting that we do out of Mexico, that these young people have every right to be pissed, have every right to be upset, and to believe that their government has totally and completely failed them. I don't want this to come to America. This is why I preach about housing so much and opportunity for young people on our channels all the time. You have to take care of young people. You have to provide opportunity for them. And if they feel like the ladder's been pulled up in front of them, then they're gonna eventually snap. And that's just what always happens. And so, like right now, this is the moment. Care and take care and set about policies and agendas to provide for young people, because it's worse out there than it's been in my lifetime, I think, for a young person. When it comes to job market, affordability crisis, when it comes to the prospects after graduating, the horrors of student debt, all of it has been terrible. So I don't want to see that happening here. I can see them almost like trialing, if you want to take a nefarious viewpoint on this, you can see them trialing this stuff in order to do it here in America in 2028 or even before in the 2026 elections. And I don't want to give them a reason to. So take care of young people. Anyway, here's the reporting, ladies and gentlemen, out of Mexico City. It's not a pretty picture there for the government, and it doesn't deserve to be. They're a failed state.
Okay, I just want to bring you some pictures that are coming to us live from Mexico City. Now, what is happening here is a protest that is ongoing against corruption and crime. This has been organized by people, young people identifying themselves as Gen Z. You can see there many hundreds of people gathered there. There has been use of tear gas in previous shots. Now, the president, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum, has criticized this march. She has called it a movement financed by right-wing politicians and business leaders who oppose her government. She's also said that this demo is being promoted by bots operating from outside the country.